So for the longest time, people have been saying that banks are stealing their money. Now we actually have proof that banks are legally stealing your money. I want to explain what's going on here. I just got done talking to a very good friend of mine, and he was saying this exact same thing, that his banks are taking his money without him even knowing it. I'll explain what's going on here, how you are likely going to be impacted by this as well, and what we are likely to see all across the United States. So I'm going to break this down in just a moment. All I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now let's begin. So are banks legally stealing your money? The answer is yes, and you may not even know it. I personally had this happen to me as well. I went to a regional bank here where I live, and I opened up an account. I do have an account there already, but I opened up a second account. This account was supposed to be for somewhat of a charity, donation, stuff like that. The bank was charging me based off of how many transactions that account did. Okay? They charged me a dormancy fee because I didn't use as much as they said I needed to. They charged me a monthly fee because they said I already had an account, so because of that, they're charging me a fee to add a second account. Okay? Another fee. And then they charged me a transaction fee, a minimum transaction fee, because I didn't hit the minimum amount of transactions that they require in order to not get the fee. It's another $5 fee. Every single month I was paying about $18 just to keep this account, which again was more for a charity. Now, I want to talk to you about what my friend said. Okay? He gave me the names of some of these. One's a credit union, one's a regional bank, one is a larger bank, not one of the big four, but one of the larger banks. Now, these bank fees, these are not always posted online, okay? Because of that, I am not going to share the names of the credit union. I'm not sharing the name of these 3 banks, okay? But here's what's happening. So he was telling me what some of these these fee schedules look like. Number 1, he has a minimum balance fee of $10. If his balance on his checking account drops below $1,000 at any point during the month, he's charged $10. That is every time it drops below. Okay, so if it drops below, let's say on the 18th of the month, then it goes back up. Then it drops below on the 25th. He is charged another $10. Every time it goes below $1,000, he is charged. Here's another interesting one. A consistent spender fee of $10. If he makes more than 20 purchases on his account, these are 20 purchases using his debit card, then he's charged $10. If he makes more than 50 purchases within that month, he is charged $30. How crazy is that? That they are going to charge you for using your money. This is where the bank's going. He also has an automated teller fee of $5. Here's the crazy part. He can go into the bank and he can work with a teller there. Problem is, they charge $5. Or you can go to the automated teller, which again is pretty much just the ATM machine. You can go there, but again, it's $5. Every time you have an interaction with that bank, it's $5. Okay? Every single time. There's another missed loan payment fee. So he would get charged $30. But here's what the bank's going to do. The bank is going to draft his connected checking account to make sure that he doesn't miss that payment. Okay. So if you miss the payment, that loan payment is $30. But If you do not have the money in your connected checking account, this is where things get interesting, you pay $40 of an overdraft fee. So there is a chance, again, that you get hit with the missed loan payment, $30. And then the bank decides, you know what, we're going to make sure that you do get that payment in, we're going to go and take the money from your checking account. And they'll try there. But if you don't have the money, you get hit with the overdraft of $40. Either way, they're taking your money. Here's another one I thought was interesting. To speak to a representative, you call and you want to speak to somebody because you don't want to go down to the bank because they're going to charge you $5. Guess what? Still going to charge you $5 just to speak to somebody. Ask a simple question. Yep, we're going to charge you $5. You want a paper bill? You want that? Well, guess what? That's going to cost you $5. Every single time you want a paper copy of anything, $5. That's what it costs. Here's what I think is very interesting. I went down to the bank just recently. I wanted to get pretty much my transaction history. And the reason why I wanted this is because I was pretty sure the bank kept screwing things up. And they were taking money out of my account for charges that were not actually from my account. Okay? Because the name on the card that was being used wasn't mine, wasn't my wife's, wasn't kids. It was nobody I knew. So they were just taking money out of my account. So trying to rectify this and figure out what's going on, went down there and asked for a whole transaction history for about 60 to 90 days. And guess what? They wanted to charge me $1.75 for one piece of paper. It was not one piece of paper. They told me it's $1.75 for the paper. I said, okay, that's fine. No, they printed it out, 30, 40 some pages, whatever it was, and they tried to charge me $1.75 per page. Guess what? They didn't do front and back either. They just printed on the front, $1.75. I said, absolutely not. I'm not paying for that. You told me $1.75. Not per page. Big difference. They were trying to charge me just to get the paper. Here's another one. A withdrawal fee. This is something that I've heard of before. I remember when I first opened my account through, it may have been Wells Fargo years ago. They tried to charge me a withdrawal fee. This is what my friend said. That if he conducts more than 5 cash withdrawals in a month, he gets charged $5. So if he takes cash out of his account more than 5 times, he gets charged $5. Again, this is your money. You took this money to the bank, you gave it to them, and like I told you the other day, it's technically an IOU. They don't look at this as your money. It's now the bank's money, but they do owe you some money. They don't look at this as your money. That's where the banks are going. Here's another one, and I have a friend that actually got hit with this multiple times. There's a foreign transaction fee of $10. If you have more than 2 transactions with a foreign bank in a month, you will get charged $10 because they don't want to interact with a foreign bank. Here's what I think is interesting. I have many friends that live right along the U.S.-Canadian border. I have a lot of friends that live, down in San Diego as well. Do a lot of, trips down into Mexico. Same thing. They are hit with foreign transaction fees. Okay, whether it's going into Canada or going down to Mexico, they're hit with these fees, and they will add up. Here's another one. I think this one's very interesting. There's a dormancy fee of $10. If you do not use your account for 30 days whatsoever, this means there's no withdrawal, there's no deposit, there's no purchases, there's no transaction whatsoever for 30 days, you are hit with a $10 fee. Now, I could go over, more and more of these fees, but I think you get the idea. Banks right now are having a tough time making money. So what they're doing right now is they're changing some of their fees. They're changing the structure of how they operate, and they're coming after your money. They're going to do whatever they can to try to steal your money legally. And the way that they do that, because they can't keep lowering interest rates, right, and stop paying you to keep your money in their bank, right? They can't do that. They can't raise the fees on a lot of their loans that they've already done over the past handful of years, right? They can't do that. You already signed on. What they can do is change their banking fees. They can increase the fee for a late payment on a credit card. They can increase the yearly, the annual fee for uses of a credit card. One of the things that I had done recently is the bank told me, or the credit card company told me that I need to get a new credit card. I need the one with the RFID, the little chip in it, so that you can just do that, the little touch and it will charge your card. He said I needed that. That my other card is going to stop working. I said, okay, perfect, fine, send me a new card. They said they will send me a new card. It's $15 for the new card. $15? Why do I have to pay a $15 fee for this card when you guys told me that I needed a new one? But yet, I had to pay the $15. That is where we're going. Banks, credit unions, regional banks, large banks, credit card companies, they're going to start pretty much making up these new fees to come after your money. So, just be prepared. That is currently where we're at. But I wanted to share this with you because after talking to this friend of mine, he was saying that he didn't believe this is even legal. It is. This is all legal. Banks can come up with all these different fees. And again, if you keep your money in that bank, well, you could get charged. So, we'll see what happens moving forward. All I can tell you right now is I will be keeping my eye on all the banks that I have any money in. And if they come up with all these weird transactions, number one, you need to know what those transaction fees and what these dormancy fees and all these different maintenance fees are. The second thing, I may decide to pull my money out. So we'll see what happens moving forward, but that is what we know as of today. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.